All right, welcome. Let's just jump right in. Imagine we're stepping into the heart of Florence, or Firenze, as you'll hear it called. We're going to use a classic Italian hotel as our classroom today, and it's the perfect place to pick up some really practical language you can use on your own travels. So, how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to follow a little story that's unfolding right inside the hotel walls. By meeting all the guests and the staff, we'll naturally pick up some key vocabulary, we'll learn how to describe people, and yeah, we'll even practice asking the right questions. Okay, first things first, let's set the scene. We're checking into the Albergo Ponte Vecchio, and if that name sounds familiar, it's probably because it's named after Florence's famous old bridge. Now, you're definitely going to see the word hotel in Italy for sure, but the more traditional, authentic Italian term is albergo. They basically mean the same thing, but using albergo kind of suggests a more classic local spot. It's a really nice touch that shows you've gone a step deeper. Let's break this down piece by piece. The hotel is grande, which means big. It's in centro, which means it's right downtown in the city center. And it's comodo per gli stranieri, super convenient for foreigners. Sounds like the perfect spot for travelers, right? All right, so what really makes a hotel interesting? I mean, it's the people, right? The guests. So let's find out who's staying at the Albergo Ponte Vecchio. Okay, let's meet our first guest. This is Victor. So we can see he's Francese, that's French, and he's in Italy per affari, which means for business. And what does he do? He's an avvocato. And yep, that's exactly right. An avvocato is a lawyer. So now we've got the full picture of Victor, a French lawyer in Florence on a business trip. Let's keep that in mind. Next up, we've got Carl and Claus, and you want to pay attention to the verb here, sono. It means they are, it's the plural form. They're tedeschi, German, and they're studenti, or students. And they're in Italy for a pretty great reason, if you ask me, per studiare l'italiano, to study Italian.
Wow, this lobby is getting pretty busy, and it's so diverse. We've also got Mary, who is inglese, English, and she's an insegnante, that's a teacher. And then there's Yoko, who is Japanese, Japanese, and a dentista. And yeah, you probably guessed that one. She's a dentist.
And last but not least, we have Olga. She's a studentessa russa, a Russian student. Now, officially, she's in Italy per studiare, to study, but, she's also got a very important mission, per fare shopping.
All right, so we've met this whole cast of characters, right? But what's next? How do we actually ask about them? This next part is absolutely key to turning what you know into a real conversation. To ask the most important questions, you really only need 3 key words. For people, we use chi, that's who. For places, it's dove, where. And for reasons, perché, why. Who, where, and why. That's it. That's our foundation. And check this out. This is so cool. It shows a really key rule in Italian. Look at the word order. When you ask a question with chi or dove, the verb, in this case meaning is, comes before the person or thing. See that? Chi è Victor. But then in the answer, bam, it flips right back. Victor è avvocato. So remember our German students, Karl and Klaus? Well, this is where that verb sono comes back into play. We use for just one person, chi è Victor. But for 2 or more people, the verb changes to sono. Chi sono Karl e Klaus. It's literally the exact same difference as saying is versus are in English. Okay, so this busy hotel, it's not going to run itself, right? It needs someone in charge, a director. So let's meet the man running the show at the Albergo Ponte Vecchio. So here he is, Paolo Rossi, the direttore. And we learn a little about him. He's sposato, that's married. He has 3 figli, 3 kids. And no surprise here for a hotel director, he's sempre molto occupato, which means always very busy. Okay, so we've covered who, where, and why. But what if you just want a simple yes or no? I mean, how would you ask something like, is the director married? Okay, get ready for this, because it's so simple. You don't change a single word, all you do is change your tone. A flat tone, il direttore è sposato, is just a statement of fact. But then you raise the pitch at the end, il direttore è sposato, and boom, it's a question. How easy is that? Whew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's do a quick recap of the key words that you can now add to your own personal Italian toolkit. And here it is, your vocabulary toolkit from our little stay at the hotel. I mean, think about it. You've got the place itself, albergo. You've got the people, their jobs, and their descriptions. These are super practical words you can start using like right now. All right, so now it's your turn. Using everything we've just covered, the words, the question patterns, think about how you'd answer this. Who are you and why do you study Italian? You know, actually answering that, that's your first big step to having a real conversation.